Now is the time for Section 1. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 6.
Good morning. Welcome to Little Star's Day Nursery. How can I help you today?
Hi there. I called last week about enrolling my son for the autumn term.
Oh, yes. Thanks for coming in. I'll just take some details. So, you're his father?
That's right.
And what's your full name, please?
It's Paul Henderson.
Henderson. Henderson. Thank you. And your son's name?
His name is Oliver.
Oliver Henderson. How old is he now?
He's 4.5, but he turns 5 next week.
I'll put down 5, as that's how old he'll be when he starts in September.
Perfect. He's really looking forward to it.
Can I have your address?
Sure. It's 12 Willowbank Avenue, Willowbank, Springfield, 2150.
Thank you. And your phone number?
It's 5521-7788. You can reach me most reliably in the evenings after 6 p.m.
So, best time to ring you is in the evening.
Yes, between 6 and 8 would be ideal.
Now, which days would you like Oliver to attend?
Ideally, Tuesday and Thursday each week.
Let's see. Tuesday is fine, but Thursday is already full. We can offer Friday instead. Would that work?
Friday would be okay. He has swimming lessons on Thursday afternoons anyway.
Great. What start time would you prefer? We open at 7:45 and close at 5:30.
I need to be at work by 9, so I'd drop him off at 8:15?
Noted. We have 2 playgroups, the blue group for 3 to 4-year-olds and the orange group for 4 to 5-year-olds.
Oliver's quite confident. He can already count to 20 and knows basic shapes.
In that case, I'll place him in the orange group, but we could move him if needed.
That sounds good.
Now, about meals, we offer breakfast, morning snack, lunch, afternoon snack, and tea. Which would Oliver need?
He eats at home before he comes, so just lunch and the afternoon snack, please.
Before we continue, you have some time to look at questions 7 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 7 to 10.
Does he have any allergies or medical conditions?
Yes, he's allergic to peanuts, so no products containing peanuts.
Thank you. I'll make a note. Finally, we need an emergency contact in case we can't reach you. Can you give me a name and number?
Of course. It's my sister, Laura Mitchell, Mitchell. Her number is 5534-1199.
And Laura is his aunt.
Yes, his aunt.
That's all the details. Do you have any questions?
Just about fees. How much will it cost per term?
For 2 days a week, that comes to $600 per term.
Do I pay that at the start of each term?
Yes, but we also offer monthly installments if you prefer.
I'll opt for monthly payments, please.
Excellent. I'll set up your files and send you the welcome pack by email.
Thanks very much. Before we finish, could you tell me about the daily routine? I want to know what Oliver will be doing while he's here.
Certainly. The day starts with free play, where children can choose from a range of activities like drawing, building blocks, or puzzles. Then, mid-morning, there's a circle time where we sing songs and learn about the day's theme.
That sounds lovely.
After that, there's outdoor play, if the weather is good. We have a safe garden with swings, sandpit, and a mini climbing frame.
Great. He loves playing outside.
Lunch is served around noon, followed by a quiet time or story session for the younger children who want to rest. The older ones have more educational activities like counting games or simple science experiments.
Sounds very structured and fun.
We also have a rotating schedule of special events, like visits from the local fire brigade or themed days like nature exploration. Parents are always invited to join these events.
That's good to know. Will I be able to communicate with Oliver's key worker?
Absolutely. Each child is assigned a key worker who will update you regularly on your child's progress and any concerns. We encourage open communication through daily handovers and scheduled meetings.
Perfect. Thank you. That reassures me a lot.
Anything else you'd like to ask?
No, I think that covers everything. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome. I'll look forward to welcoming Oliver in September.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now is the time for section 2. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Today, we're delighted to welcome Dr. Laura Samuels from the Coral Reef Research Institute. Dr. Samuels, could you tell us about the Institute's mission and activities?
Certainly, the Institute was founded 15 years ago with the primary goal of preserving coral reef ecosystems worldwide. We conduct scientific research on reef health, promote sustainable tourism, and run public education programs to raise awareness of threats such as climate change, overfishing, and marine pollution. Although we're well known in the scientific community, we remain relatively small compared to major environmental organizations with just under 200 staff and around 50 volunteers. Last year alone, we visited over 120 schools and community centers to deliver presentations to audiences aged 7 through 18, and we estimate that nearly 40% of our membership is under 18. We also fund campaigns advocating for stricter regulations on coastal development and destructive fishing practices. Recently, we secured our first full-time marine biologist specializing in coral genetic diversity, who will lead our long-term monitoring project. Volunteers support us in data collection on reef transects, in-office administration, and organizing fundraising events.
That sounds very comprehensive. I understand you received a significant award recently.
Yes, we were honored with the Marine Conservation Award from the Global Environment Fund last autumn, specifically for our community outreach work. Although the prize money, about £10,000, was modest in terms of our overall budget, the publicity it generated has been invaluable. We've seen a marked increase in website traffic and media coverage, which we hope will translate into more supporters, even if membership numbers don't rise immediately.
Fascinating. Now, tell us about your fieldwork locations. Where can people go to observe healthy reef systems?
We operate in several regions, but our flagship project is in the Coral Triangle region of Southeast Asia. This area boasts the highest coral diversity on the planet, partly because of minimal industrial activity until recent decades. Unfortunately, proposed oil drilling and coastal mining threaten these reefs with sedimentation and underwater noise. Even if no spills occur, increased shipping traffic generates chronic noise pollution, disrupting fish communication and driving corals to expel their symbiotic algae. We're actively campaigning to halt new drilling licenses and to establish marine protected zones.
How did you first become interested in coral reefs?
Interestingly, it wasn't until my final year at university that I encountered a book called Reefs in Peril, which recounted the Bali coral bleaching events and featured a teenager's grassroots campaign to save her local lagoon. I'd studied marine biology in theory, but had never felt personally connected. That narrative completely captivated me. I read it cover to cover in one sitting and knew I had to work in reef conservation.
Before we continue, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen carefully and answer questions 16 to 20.
Our listeners will want to know how they can get involved. You offer a Sponsor a Coral program. Could you explain that?
Absolutely. Donors select one of our tagged corals to sponsor for a year. They receive quarterly progress reports and photographs showing growth rates and health indicators. Right now, 4 corals are available to sponsor: Azure Star, Crimson Fan, Emerald Brain, and Sapphire Boulder. Unfortunately, Crimson Fan has not thrived this season and has yet to show significant growth, so we're concerned about its survival. In contrast, Emerald Brain is our most photogenic specimen. Its intricate folds cast dramatic shadows that delight our photographers and donors alike. Azure Star is renowned for its rapid expansion. Its branching structure grows almost twice as fast as average Acropora species. Sapphire Boulder, though the slowest grower, is the newest addition to the sponsorship scheme, having been tagged only last month. Each coral has unique features. The crevices in Emerald Brain attract small reef fish, while Sapphire Boulder's unusually high density makes it exceptionally resilient to strong currents.
They all sound remarkable, and I'm sure our audience will be keen to sponsor one. Thank you, Dr. Samuels, for sharing these insights.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now is the time for section 3. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hi, Rob. How's the course going?
Oh, hi, Mia. Yeah, great. I can't believe the first term's nearly over.
I saw your group's performance last night at the student theatre. It was good.
Really? Yeah, but now we have to write a report on the whole thing, an in-depth analysis. I don't know where to start. Like, I have to write about the role I played, the doctor, how I developed the character.
Well, what was your starting point?
My grandfather was a doctor before he retired, and I just based it on him.
Okay, but how? Did you talk to him about it?
He must have all sorts of stories, but he never says much about his work, even now. He has a sort of authority, though.
So how did you manage to capture that?
I'd visualize what he must have been like in the past, when he was sitting in his consulting room listening to his patients.
Okay, so that's what you explain in your report.
Right.
Then there's the issue of atmosphere. So in the first scene, we needed to know how boring life was in the doctor's village in the 1950s. So when the curtain went up on the first scene in the waiting room, there was that long silence before anyone spoke. And then people kept saying the same thing over and over, like, cold, isn't it?
Yes, and everyone wore grey and brown and just sat in a row.
Yes, all those details of the production.
And I have to analyze how I functioned in the group, what I found out about myself. I know I was so frustrated at times when we couldn't agree.
Yes. So did one person emerge as the leader?
Sophia did. That was okay. She helped us work out exactly what to do for the production, and that made me feel better, I suppose.
When you understood what needed doing?
Yes, and Sophia did some research too. That was useful in developing our approach.
Like what?
Well, she found these articles from the 1950s about how relationships between children and their parents, or between the public and people like bank managers or the police, were shifting.
Interesting. And did you have any practical problems to overcome?
Well, in the final rehearsal, everything was going fine until the last scene. That's where the doctor's first patient appears on stage on his own.
The one in the wheelchair?
Yes, and he had this really long speech, with the stage all dark except for one spotlight. And then that stuck somehow, so it was shining on the wrong side of the stage. But anyway, we got that fixed, thank goodness.
Yes, it was fine on the night.
Before we continue, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen carefully and answer questions 26 to 30.
But while you're here, Mia, I wanted to ask you about the year abroad option. Would you recommend doing that?
Yes, definitely. It's a fantastic chance to study in another country for a year.
I think I'd like to do it, but it looks very competitive. There's only a limited number of places.
Yes, so next year, when you are in the second year of the course, you need to work really hard in all your theatre studies modules. Only students with good marks get places. You have to prove that you know your subject really well.
Right. So how did you choose where to go?
Well, I decided I wanted a program that would fit in with what I wanted to do after I graduate. So I looked for a university with emphasis on acting rather than directing, for example. It depends on you. Then, about 6 months before you go, you have to email the scheme coordinator with your top 3 choices. I had a friend who missed the deadline and didn't get her first choice. So you do need to get a move on at that stage. You'll find that certain places are very popular with everyone.
And don't you have to write a personal statement at that stage too?
Yes.
Right. I'll get some of the final year students to give me some tips. Maybe see if I can read what they wrote.
I think that's a very good idea. I don't mind showing you what I did. And while you're abroad, don't make the mistake I made. I got so involved, I forgot all about making arrangements for when I came back here for the final year. Make sure you stay in touch so they know your choices for the optional modules. You don't want to miss out doing your preferred specialisms.
Right.
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now is the time for section 4. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Today, I want to discuss self-regulatory focus theory and how different leadership styles can shift the way people pursue their goals. This theory, developed by E. Torrey Higgins, proposes that at any moment, our motivations fall into one of two broad categories: approach or avoidance. In everyday language, that means we are either seeking pleasure, approach, or trying to avoid pain, avoidance. Within work and life contexts, these motivations translate into promotion goals, seeking advancement and gains, or prevention goals, ensuring security and avoiding losses. According to the theory, two main factors determine which regulatory focus predominates at a given time. First, the chronic factor arises from stable aspects of personality. Some individuals habitually pursue promotion goals, they're ever ready to embrace new opportunities, while others naturally lean toward prevention goals, staying alert to potential threats. In other words, their basic disposition sets a default focus. Second, the situational factor stems from context and external cues. Certain environments prime us for one focus over the other. For instance, when we socialize with close friends, sharing laughter and creative ideas, we tend to adopt a promotion mindset. We're imagining what could be achieved. Conversely, when reporting to a senior manager about a critical project, we become more cautious, emphasizing error-free work, which is a prevention focus. These foci shape our thinking and emotion. Under a promotion focus, people visualize their aspirations, ideal selves, and potential gains. They think expansively, feeling hopeful and energized, more apt to innovate and embrace change. Under a prevention focus, attention turns to duties, obligations, and ought selves. Individuals worry about mistakes and adhere closely to rules, experiencing greater vigilance and anxiety. With this foundation, let's examine leadership. Leaders' words and behaviors can nudge followers into one focus or the other. Two contrasting styles illustrate this: transformational leadership and transactional leadership. Transformational leaders inspire and develop followers. They give personal attention to each individual, listening to hopes and ambitions. Their speeches brim with passion and a vision for what the team can achieve together. They challenge assumptions, encourage experimentation, and frame setbacks as learning opportunities. Such leaders spotlight possibilities, what could be, and thus cultivate a promotion focus in their teams. By contrast, transactional leaders center on structure and compliance. They set clear rules, deadlines, and performance standards. Rewards are promised for meeting objections, while consequences, such as withheld bonuses or formal reprimands, are highlighted for lapses.
In effect, they draw attention to potential losses and penalties, steering followers toward a prevention focus. Imagine a software development department. A transformational manager rallies the team around a bold new feature roadmap, encouraging inventive solutions and celebrating small wins. Developers feel empowered to propose novel ideas, confident that even if some ideas fail, the goal is learning and growth. This mindset directly springs from promotion-focused messaging. Achieve more, expand horizons, embrace challenges. Now consider a quality assurance group led transactionally. The manager outlines precise testing protocols, warns of immediate corrective action for any missed bugs, and stresses the importance of error-free releases. The team feels an acute sense of duty, meticulously following checklists to avoid defects. They work with caution and attention to detail, hallmarks of prevention focus. Neither leadership style is inherently superior. The optimal focus depends on the task. Roles demanding creativity, rapid iteration, and breakthrough ideas, such as R&D, marketing campaigns, or design, benefit from a promotion orientation. Conversely, fields requiring extreme precision and risk minimization, like surgery, air traffic control, or financial auditing, are better served by a prevention orientation, where avoiding mistakes and adhering to standards are paramount. In practice, effective leaders often blend both approaches, adapting their style to team needs and situational demands. A visionary executive might use transformation to kick off a high-level strategy session, then switch to transactional oversight when implementing critical processes. By understanding self-regulatory focus theory, leaders can deliberately frame communications and incentives to match the desired focus, thereby optimizing team performance and well-being.
That is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers.